what is the actual percent of chronic diseases in the world?
Oh, okay. For that, Amelia, I have to read from this script, you know.
Yeah,
that's
go
fine.
for it.
Yeah.
Read out the facts.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. I mean, I should be knowing them by heart by now, but
again, you're not a perfect person. That's
yeah,
all
exactly,
good.
exactly. So I suppose let's talk about obesity. In Australia, what's the percentage?
40%.
40%.
Right? Yeah.
In America, 50%.
50% yeah.
right now.
But that's not even that much of a difference, really.
No.
And I've been to America myself, and the food is just insane. And the proportions and everything, it's just baffling. But it's very interesting that we're not even that far off.
Yeah. And second one would be basically, I mean, the average weight of a world population was 57 kilos in 1970, and now it's over 62.
Wow.
Over 62. Yeah. And to give example, Australian male was in 1970 was 67, now 87. So 20 kilos gain over the period of that time, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then globally, over 10% of population live with type 2 diabetes, okay, which is over 500 million now. 500 million, you know. 50 years ago, it was only 3% of the population. Hypertension was only about 5% in 1970, now is 32%. So thereby, if you add all the chronic diseases together, almost half the world population is living with either 1 or 2 chronic disease.
Wow.
At that time, at any given time, you know.
And that's changed over how many years?
We are talking about from 1970 to 2026 now, you know.
Yeah, wow.
Which is about 50 odd years there, you know. And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, 100%.
It will not get better at all. You know? And then...
and there's such an like we were talking about before, like with Ozempic and stuff like that, there's such a need for a quick fix all the time. And it's not anything to do with thinking about your future self at all. Yeah.
You can't indefinitely take weight loss medications, you know. Unless you change your lifestyle, the moment you stop your Ozempic, the weight will come back. Unless you're prepared to be on Ozempic forever and then spend $300 per month for the rest of your life, that's the money you saved by going on to that junk food. You know, you told me about, you know, you don't have money, or, you know, as a young person, you know, and so you made a choice, you know, to eat more like processed food, you know. That's a choice everybody's making now with the cost of living crisis in Australia. You know? And now going on to the actual, each year about 17 million die from a chronic disease before the age of 70.
In Australia?
No, in the whole world.
Sorry,
Okay. But the problem is, out of that 17 million, over 85% affect the lower to middle class.
Yeah.
That's sad. Long time ago, rich people died, poor people died, but poor people died without obesity. But now they die with diseases. You know? And then, can you imagine what's the cost of the chronic diseases to the world in terms of loss of income and everything? Give it a go.
Like in what?
In millions. Let's say, what's the cost? You know, because as you know, when you have a chronic disease in the world, let's say America or Australia, it costs the government, isn't it? You know, because we have to get more doctors, you know, nurses, Ozempic medications and everything.
I have no idea. You're going to have to tell me.
All right, okay. As per the WHO cost there, the world loses $30 trillion annually for chronic diseases. Not billion, trillion, 30 trillion.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling there, you know. But do we?
Crazy.
That's crazy there.
Yeah, I would not have guessed anywhere close to that.
And but globally, there's a loss there, and the government spend over 8 trillion in the whole world to combat or treat chronic diseases. 8 trillion.
when that could be being put to helping so many different things in the world.
Prevented that, you know. And then to give example, in Australia, the Australian federal government spends about 40 million in their 40 million in prevention. Prevention, you know, like in terms of bowel cancer screening, breast cancer screening, those are good initiatives. So the cost is about 40 million, but the actual loss of income and everything to the economy from all those diseases is about 35 billion. So you spend about 30 to 40 million to prevent, but then you could spend more. But the loss is about more than 40 billion. That's where the problem is. Because we don't want to fix the system, Amelia, unfortunately, because the system, you know, doctors, I would go bankrupt if all the patients are getting healthier. You know, all the drug companies would go bankrupt. Unfortunately, the middle class, that I am a middle class person, you're a middle class person, we are the engine of the world. The moment the middle class is too healthy, the whole system would collapse.
Yeah, right.